we're back.
Oh, wow. Did I do that right? I don't even know if I did that right. All right, guys. This is a great podcast. This is a special event. There's these comedians. They do a show, I thought, at Denny's, like a live stand-up comedy show, but it's not. It's a live podcast that they do at Denny's. And they asked me to do it. And I said, yes, I'll do it. And we had a ball doing this. We didn't do it at Denny's. We did it from the safety of our own homes. And when I say safety, I mean everything's open. We just don't want to be sitting in traffic. So this is great. You're going to see me interacting with 3 other comics. It's great. And I want to, you don't usually see me in this capacity. Usually it's one-on-one, but here I am, a guest on somebody else's show, but they gave me permission to record it. So I'm going to upload it and we're going to have a good time. Thank you so much for watching the Pocket Party podcast. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting it. And if you're new here, thank you for watching. And if you've been here before, thanks for coming back. Do me a huge favor and see that little thumbs up signal down there, that little sign? Give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know you care. And share this episode and any of my other YouTube videos. It really does matter. All right, let's get into the Pocket Party podcast right here, right now. All right, don't hurt nobody and be careful.
Pocket Party. Hey guys,
Hey, Jamie.
On. Hi Jamie, you're always the first to show up. And we have our very special guest, Darren Carter. He's the party starter. That's how he promotes himself. Hey.
Hello.
Yeah.
We've all worked with Darren in some capacity. I haven't seen you in a few years. We were at Flappers the last time I saw you, but we've been at many other clubs at the same time. But Darren, we're going to put you on the spot here because we always start our show. He's going to ask us questions tonight, you guys. But we always start our show with what we were voted most likely to be. And so we didn't give you any warning and because we know that you're very funny. And
that's right. He's quick. He's fast.
You're a comedian.
Right. Gosh. Yeah.
Just go, Kirchner.
So I walked into, I didn't do this right. I was voted most likely to ask for a Brazilian and I ended up with just a pretty hairdo.
Nice.
Well, I was voted most likely to be an Olympic athlete, but too bad Lazy River isn't an event.
Nice.
Well, Darren's the party starter. I was voted most likely to be the party pooper.
Yeah. I have no idea what to say. I was voted most likely to have best hair.
Yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
Thank
That's
you.
another thing, you guys.
I'm spiking it up.
Nice and shiny.
See that?
Darren's known for being like a ginger redhead, but we can't even tell you he's redhead anymore.
I know. It's kind of cool. It's kind of like you know, I don't know why I took my glasses off like I got dramatic. You know, it's interesting you bring that up.
You did bring up about that.
Yeah, it's a writing exercise. I said, you know what? I'm relying too much on redhead jokes. Let me shave it off and start all over. You know,
you're like a method comedian then.
Exactly. He's a method comedian. He comes back. Yeah. I saw that movie Powder that came out in the 90s. I said, that's my look.
There you go. Whole new bunch of material came out.
You have all new material because you can't do redhead. You can do redhead stuff, but do you have bald stuff?
Yeah.
Now,
Can you keep your freckle stuff in there though?
Yeah. You can do the freckled stuff. I can. It's funny. Even if I do the redhead stuff, I'd be like, hey, I used to be a redhead, but it's weird though. Like, if there's any redheads out there, let me tell you the best. And if you're losing your hair, just shave it. You're gonna go up a few numbers on that 1 to 10 scale because sometimes people like when I'm on stage, I'm talking about this and that, whatever I'm talking about. And then I go, I used to have orange hair. And then I can see like some of the people, the girls are kind of like, ooh, like they didn't, oh, wow. I didn't, interesting. Like, because if they just see me now at this age of my life, they're like, oh, with their imagination, they're like, is that Bruce Willis? Is that Vin Diesel? You know, there's like a whole thing going on.
Maybe squint a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. If you squint or you have a couple cocktails, you know, you're like, you know,
Darren,
Furious Nine's coming out.
I come from a family of redheads. My dad was a redhead, my brother, and both his kids. But as they get older, it all turns brown. They all start off as like bright orange, and then it gets. What is that?
I don't know. You know what? You're right. I remember one day.
The human body.
I must have been about 9 years old, and we had the front window of our house it was tinted, but so it looked like a mirror, like you could see yourself. So I saw myself, my own reflection outside with the sun hitting it. And I was just like, oh my gosh, my hair is so bright. Like I'd never seen it that bright. Like I'd only seen it like the medicine cabinet inside of a bathroom or a photograph. I never experienced the full orangeness of it. And And I do see that. You're right. With children, I see children with the bright red hair, and you know, and I remember like these old guys as I was a kid, they'd come up to me and be like, "I used to have hair as red as yours," and I'd be like, "What?" And now I turn into one of those guys. But
now you'll be that, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, my brother's was bright orange. Like we used to tease him at school and call him Redhead Fred, and now he has dark hair.
Dark hair,
so that's,
brown.
It's like
gray, almost gray.
It's almost like tree rings. You can, you know. You can say, like, I worked with you the last time was when you had the red hair. That's how many years ago is that?
Oh, well, that must have been circa 97 to 2002.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. And if someone's like, I knew you when you had the double comb over where you'd spike it up in the middle, like, oh, that was 2005 to 2012, right there. Yeah.
Right.
Working your way up to the balls.
Exactly.
So Darren was asking us how we got started with this show. And I think a lot of you have been with us since the beginning, but Darren doesn't know the whole story. And some of you just have become new fans, but we basically just started as a writing group at Denny's because we all used to take a workshop together. We kind of outgrew it. We learned some great things and we retired from it. And then we thought, we know each other so well that we can help punch each other's jokes up and this and that. We're just at Denny's one night and Facebook Live became this thing. And we're like, what's this? And then I just put it on my phone and all these people started watching. So we're like, hey, this could be like a thing, right? So, I mean, we're not like Seinfeld famous, but you know, it just kind of evolved. Like,
the other thing too, Darren, is that we would do it. The shows every 2 weeks, right? It was always at a Denny's, and then once the pandemic hit a year ago, then that's when we started doing the Zoom, and we started doing a show every week. Then we had more guests on, even around the country. You know, a lot of comedians from Florida to wherever, because we could do the Zoom thing. So now the show's once a week.
Wow.
But someday,
the cool thing about it,
someday is we're working up to norms.
Yeah.
I love norms. Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
I think
That's right on up to the top.
I gotta
because we're never gonna betray Denny's.
Yeah. I gotta ask a couple things. So I think when I first heard of comedians at Denny's, it might have been before the pandemic. And I think I messaged you. I said, hey, what is this? Because I thought maybe, because I know that there's a few Denny's out there that have lounges. And when I first started out growing up in Fresno, they would do comedy at Denny's. And they would do it like, yeah, they did actual stand-up comedy shows at you know, maybe awesome. Like some of the, and so I thought maybe that's what you guys are doing. I thought, you know, it's cool enough. It's cool that there's comedy clubs and there's theaters and there's other venues, but you know, comics have been thinking outside of the box, doing them at comic book stores, you know, especially now, like, I mean, forget it. Now it's like they're everywhere, right? Parks, parking lots, churches, like anywhere you could think of. And, you know, apartment complex courtyards. I mean,
crazy.
That'd be weird if you weren't invited to the show, but you live in the apartment, you know.
Just go up to it, start performing.
But I thought, wow, I thought that must be amazing to do comedy at Denny's. And then when you told me it was more like a thing where, like at a booth, I was like, oh, that's interesting. But I was looking more towards like, how cool would that be to do comedy at a Denny's, you know?
Yeah.
Well, someone sent me a video a few months ago that there's a guy that is performing at Denny's. And that is our vision, Darren, to once all of this lifts, is to do comedy at Denny's. And if we can, take it on the road and go to different Denny's. So, and then have comics in all the cities. So yes, you're partly right as how this direction is going. But I had asked you to do the show a couple years ago. And I remember because it was pre-COVID, and the harder thing back then was that everyone already had their own gigs. So now, like, we get more people because we're, you know,
there's
on
more
time.
time.
So it's kind
have you guys have you reached out to Denny's at all and said, hey, we love your place. We love, you know, maybe we could do one, you know, maybe have you found a Denny's that would work with you guys yet?
We're waiting to get a cease and desist from
from their lawyers.
all of our
Yeah.
social media. But there was one guy, you might know who he is because I can't remember his name. He would do the same thing. He would write from Waffle House. And he was always tweeting. And instead of a cease and desist, he got hey, we're getting a lot of followers. Here's a $500.
I think his name is Chris Cope, right? Chris Cope. Is that who it is?
Yeah, yes.
Wow. Okay.
He looks like a Waffle House guy.
Yeah. He looks like he got a $500 gift. I love you, Chris. You know what I meant.
Chris would say the same thing. He also looks like a Denny's guy and a Waffle House guy and a Dunkin' Donuts
so
guy.
funny.
Like, he looks like,
Yeah. I'm getting super hungry. Can I just be honest? I mean, this is a great idea because just mentioning Denny's over and over, and like I love the red and yellow colors, and just I have so many happy memories of Denny's. It's like, I mean, it's a free plug. It's for sure because I love going to Denny's. Like I would.
Usually we eat during the show or eat just before the show. We tell people what we had, So
you know what, man?
It's like a food show too.
Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to a Denny's and we're gonna do it in a parking lot. We're gonna do the far edges of the parking lot, like as far as you can go in a parking lot, and do a comedy show. And then the next week we'll move in 10 feet closer and closer until eventually we're inside the Denny's.
I like that strategy.
Yeah, be so good that they can't ignore. Right? That's what Steve Martin said. So Denny's the manager. That's how you like the show so far. Pretty good, right? Kind of weird that I'm out here in the country with the chair next to me. But anyways, if you like this show and you want to help out, go to Cameo. I do birthday shout outs, anniversary shout outs. Or if you just want to do a donation, go to DarrenCarter.com, PayPal, or Venmo at Darren Carter Comic. Now let's get back to the show. Yeah.
Did you see the Instagram post I put you on today? So I always look at the Denny's thing, and I promote them, but I haven't gotten likes or cease and desist. I haven't gotten anything. I haven't gotten. So we're
no good. Yeah. And no news is good news in that case, I guess, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, true.
Right.
But we do have a lot of fans, and I can't wait to get this back live. To be honest.
Yeah, we're hoping to get discovered organically. Or
I see what this is. You know what? I'm gonna hold up the photo. That's what you posted. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the heck that was. I thought it was just some girl rocking out on a guitar. But if you look closer, she actually has a skillet, and there's like a breakfast in the skillet. Yes. So I was like, oh, that's what that meant. Okay.
And then I just repost their stuff. So but I haven't gotten in trouble yet. Yeah. And I think we've learned that they're all kind of, some of them are privately owned and some of them are franchises. So the original one that we went to was, I think, owned by the mob. And
you had to pay cash. That's why.
They're out of business. Yeah. It got to the point where they're like, cash only.
Cash only.
Like, I already paid.
It's like a laundrette or something. Cash. Yeah.
Before it went out of business like that last month, it went from Denny's to Tony's. Hey, come on to Tony's. Moon's over my, forget about it.
And our waitresses paychecks were bouncing.
Wow.
Yeah, the one on aviation, aviation actually is the Smithsonian called. They want their stuff back. It's like that place we were in there 2 years ago, the exact same posters. The place hasn't moved. It's not for lease. It's not for rent. It's not open. It closed before the pandemic.
I used to perform in a town called Fairfield, California. There was this place called Pepper Bellies. I don't know if you guys ever played Pepper Bellies. It used to be a movie theater, even in the 1920s. And then they would do stand-up comedy. Well, the place burned down, but it was awesome though, because I got to tell you, in Fairfield, one of the big jokes, every comedian you would see it on the way back to the hotel. There was two Denny's across the street from each other. There was one on this side of the road and one on this side of the road.
No way, like Starbucks.
Dueling Denny's.
Yeah, dueling Denny's. And I think one was more popular than the other. They're like, yeah, you got to go to that one. That's where all the cool people hang out at. And then I got to a certain age where I was like, you know what? Let me go to the non-cool one where it's quieter. I don't want to
check it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be, chaos at 2 a.m. You want to chill. You want the chill vibe, the over 40 vibe.
Yeah. Have some coffee.
I was in Arizona for a month and I met the waitress there because they were open So I would like do this show from Denny's while they were at home, and like
Yeah.
got to know all the waitresses. And the one lady was so funny. She's like, "Hi, my name's Michelle." Unless people get mad at me, then they call me Gertrude. Like you just get to know all the staff. We have our like we're in, we don't disclose where we are because we get people that try to find us. But the current one that we're at, we're like getting to know like, you know, all
the waiter and the, the people at the register. Yeah.
That was nice that that lady. What was her first name? The waitress.
When she's good, she's Michelle, and when she's not good, she's Gertrude.
Oh, she calls herself Gertrude. Oh, I see.
So they call her Gertrude when they get mad at her.
Oh, wow. See, because nowadays I feel like they would just change it to like Karen or something, you know? Like,
Yeah, that's right. Karen.
You're a Karen. By the way, I feel bad for the women that are named Karen that are good, you know? I mean, that's terrible. All the, you know, like
just totally
Karen,
came on us. I know.
Karen Rontowski, like she was so upset by this, and she's been on our show too, Darren. And she's super talented and a great writer. She changed her Instagram handle. Like none of her things say Karen anymore.
Really? She's
not bad.
Just Rontowski. It's just Rontowski. Like
yeah. See, it's like, you know, I mean, imagine like I thought about that, like, you know, Karens, you know, like that's you're a female that is a tattletale, I guess, is a Karen. And I was just so happy that the male version wasn't a Darren, you know, like Karen and Darren.
Or you'd be changing
stuff. It's not too late, Darren. Don't jinx
I know. I should never have put that out there. I should have never started this. You know, I'm going to call Denny's and have this show taken off. I'm just kidding.
Darren and Karen. Well, we hope
Darren, are you like a California guy then? I mean, Fairfield, and did you grow up in LA or?
Yeah. I grew up in Fresno, California, which is, you know, it's, I tell people, I go, it's like San Francisco, man. It's just the East Bay, you know, it's about 3 hours east of the Bay. But, I grew up in Fresno. I started my comedy in the Bay Area. Well, really the first year was Fresno, but then I got a job at Marriott's Great America is what it was called back then. And I moved to the Bay Area and did comedy there for 2 years. And then I moved to San Diego for about 2 years. And then I moved to LA, and it was like, so I already had experience by the time I got here, and so I was all over California. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when you were in the Bay Area, did you ever do the club on the Fisherman's Wharf?
Cobb's,
yeah,
was it?
The Cobb's, yeah. So the guy he owned Sacramento Laughs as well at the time.
Oh,
so
okay.
If you got in one, you got in both. So I would headline they got me last minute. It was like that classic Who Canceled, you know, for New Year's. So I went up and featured for a guy, and then they booked me as a headliner in the Sacramento room. But it was a smaller room, but it was on the wharf. So you were right in the center of everything. But did you ever get to do that? Or
I never did. I used to go to Cobb's and watch shows, and then they moved to, you know, like another part of San Francisco. But the thing I remember about Cobb's is the owner at the time, his name was I believe his name was Tom Sawyer. I don't know if you remember that name.
That's right.
Oh, original. I thought it was Huckleberry Finn.
Well, you know what's funny about
Rush album?
Yeah, exactly. So his name was Tom Sawyer, and I was about, I don't know, 21 years old, 22, and I just remember like Tom Sawyer. He owns Cobb's, and then I
gotta hook up. Gotta get him.
Yeah, and then I did a show with a comedian, and his name was Huck Finn. Which is like Huckleberry Flynn. And so I thought he was the owner of Cubs. I knew Tom Sawyer, Huck Flynn. Then I got, you know, I was kind of kissing his butt a little bit, like, man, you sure are funny, man. I'd love to go. Yeah, exactly. Then I realized, like, oh, Tom Sawyer. Oh, but we still were friends though. But it was just kind of funny to me, like, you know,
yeah, that was a cool room. So San Francisco, do you work with, what celebrities did you work with up in that area?
Well, I remember I was there when, you know, obviously like the Punchline, I remember seeing like, you know, all these great comics coming through, especially back then. And then like the Holy City Zoo, I met Robin Williams there. Wow. And it was right outside the front door. Like it was foggy in the hills, and it was just, and I knew he used to hang out there, and they were like, hey, Robin's here tonight. And I was like, whoa. And especially back then when you're like, you haven't seen that many celebrities and people you look up to. So remember I went out, you know, I went outside the door, and I was just like, I didn't know what to say, you know, so I made small talk. I stood next to him and I go, wow, it's pretty cold out here. And he goes, oh, it's cold. It is. Oh, it's cold. Yeah. And then I was like, yeah. And then I just went back inside. I didn't take the conversation any further.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, I read an article in the San Jose Mercury News back then, and it talked about they interviewed Henny Youngman, king of the one-liners. And they go, Henny Youngman, he's the famous guy. Take my wife, please. That guy.
Yeah.
By the way, he's so funny.
Absolutely.
I listened to this classic channel on Sirius XM. He had all these great jokes. I mean, he has so many jokes. Bam, 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 bam. I mean, they were just so good. And there's all these jokes. Now they might seem kind of old, like, hey, did you hear about the guy that, but they were just so funny back then. But so in the article, it said like, and he still leaves his home, he gives out his home phone number to everybody and he'll answer his own phone. And they actually printed the phone number in the either they printed in the article or I called information. I forget, but somehow I got a hold of his phone number and I'm like, I wonder if that's true. And I actually called him, hilarious, thinking about that it's 3 hours different. So it must have been like 2 a.m. in New York City. And he actually answered the phone like this. He goes, Henny Youngman, king of the one-liners.
No way.
Yeah, I swear to you. And I got nervous and I go, sorry, I dialed the wrong number. And he's like, no. And he's like, that's okay. And then he just like hung up. But it was like, I could talk to him and ask him questions. And
that was like social media of the day.
Story,
Give out your phone number.
Remember, like New York people, because I'm friends with a lot of New York comedians. I'm sure you guys are too. They're always up when we're up. They're up till like 3 or 4 in the morning. Is that weird?
Yeah.
Do they ever sleep?
I know. I think it's just because things are always open and it's just easier to, like during the pandemic, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely found myself going to bed way earlier than I used to.
Yeah.
Later.
True.
I'd be like yawning and getting tired like at 11, whereas before I'd be like,
you weren't doing a show, right?
Especially when you're from the big city of Fresno. I mean, come on.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah.
Starter.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. I start the parties. I don't necessarily close them out, or I don't even attend these parties.
And then he leaves. What's that called? The Irish exit? What's it called?
Yeah. The Irish goodbye. The Irish goodbye. Hey, it's good to see you. Then they just leave. They walk out of there.
Yeah. Are you Irish?
I think I'm German, Scotch, Irish, and English, but whatever works for comedy. I'm like, that's what I am.
I am.
Yeah.
Mostly confused. He's confused.
Yeah,
as long as you have to change your name.
That's something really funny something
Party
that
starter.
reminded me of you called information. Do they even have that anymore?
I know.
They don't have a phone.
I don't know if they do. Yes,
I know. And remember there was a time that you could call, you could spell out the word popcorn on your phone and they would tell you the time. I don't know if you knew that, but
there was a number where you could call time to when you had to watch.
Oh yeah, what time is
Yeah, but you would actually pick up, you would dial, it would spell popcorn, POPCORN, and it would tell you that the time is 8:54 p.m. Or whatever. It's interesting, right?
Oh, crazy.
My God.
Somebody had a plan. I actually, this headline got my attention. It said that they were somebody planned on turning like old phone booth into like Wi-Fi hotspot Wi-Fi spots, free Wi-Fi.
Wow, okay.
But that would be a great idea.
Maybe it'll happen but then the article went on to say that the thing failed or something. But I'm like, I think one day it's going to happen. Hopefully it will happen.
I still know. There's an actual phone booth at the Denny's that we used to perform at.
Really? And it works? Do you think?
There you go.
No, it didn't work. It was a really good prop though. It was. We'd always photos.
Yeah.
Well, one time my cell phone, I remember my cell phone, I think the battery died or something when I was flying and I didn't have a charger. I don't know, for whatever reason. And I remember my wife was going to come pick me up at the airport and I had no way of contacting her. I had no way of saying, I'm at gate set, I didn't even know. I mean, I'm looking for payphones. They couldn't even find a payphone. Like, I remember, and where the payphones
use those white phones. Remember, Darren Carter,
paging, blah blah blah. Yeah.
Your white.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, remember
a courtesy phone
for the police department, you had to call that. It was like a 7-digit number too. So by the time you got
Wow.
a hold of anybody, police department,
Dead.
forget it. Already been stabbed in the eye, man.
You've been dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's an old
Robbed
comic.
or dead.
He jokes on that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, then they changed it to 911, right? Like in
Yeah,
the
they-
80s, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhere.
Because I remember when 911 became a big thing in Fresno, they kept I was in high school and they kept saying like, "Do not call it. Don't because people were curious. Like, I want to see if it.
Right.
Yeah, let's see if
Yeah.
it really works." And they were like,
Like
"No,
the
no,
king
no."
of the
just-
one-liners.
Yeah, exactly. 911. Yeah, exactly.
We always joke about Jay.
Here
Like,
comes the
fax
fax
machine.
show, man.
But
Yeah.
this is a real fact story. So back
Yeah.
in the day, I had this laptop, and to dial in, you had to dial 9 and then whatever number that you had to dial to fax somebody. And this was really during the day of faxes. And this is when I lived way down in the South Bay. And I dialed it one time, and like I didn't get any fax thing that showed up on my computer, but the cops were like bang, 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 bang on my door. Like
Oh.
minutes later, because
Uh-oh.
apparently I faxed 911.
Oh no.
And I'm like, I'm okay, and they're like, okay. It's like, I'm like, sorry.
That's hilarious. I don't understand my story because I
Yeah.
totally remember maybe
Mhm.
but I just Googled when was 911 invented. And it said it was invented in the 60s and the first call came from Alabama. Like that doesn't even make sense. But I swear to you, there was something that happened. Maybe there was a big
Yeah.
change or maybe we got
Yeah.
Maybe something happened in the 80s.
all over. Maybe it wasn't that, maybe
I didn't even
Maybe
know
it got
people in
enhanced.
Alabama had
Yeah.
phones.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder what there's a
Yeah.
premise for you guys.
Yeah.
You guys are writers.
Yeah.
What was
Yeah.
that first 911 call in Alabama?
Exactly.
911, what's your emergency? Well, the girl I'm with, apparently she's a stranger.
I'm out of beer. I can't find my beer.
About a beer.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. In like 82 or 83, they were still teaching kids that 7-digit number for the police department. So
Wow.
there must
Yeah.
have been some sort of turning point or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe it was the invention of the pager at that point. I don't
Dude,
know.
Yeah.
I feel like this is turning into a we're getting old podcast. And
We're like
it's-
1-800 collect.
no, this is hilarious though, because it's with the whole Denny's theme. It's like you guys are because right, you had me with like we're doing this at 8:30 at night, but
We're
watch the next-
transforming.
any week now it's going to be the early bird special.
Yeah.
We're like,
I'm like falling asleep already.
yeah, you're like, hey Darren, do our Denny's podcast, but we're going to do it at 8 a.m. Sure.
Yeah, in the morning.
Like, we start our
Early
day being
bird
productive.
We're gonna
Yeah,
do
you're
the 4 o'clock happy hour.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. Hey, I heard you got a special, an early bird special. Hey-o.
I did used to have a pager way
you
back
go.
in the day, and I dropped it in the toilet. What?
Hey, can you hear this when I hit the drums? Listen.
I just did. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And actually, is it loud?
How do you do that?
Yeah, I hear it.
I have I bought this thing called a Zoom PodTrack P4. If you guys ever want to
wow.
like do podcasts, it's like $199. It allows you to interface. Like that's why I'm able to use this mic.
Cool.
And I can also do
Right.
like phone call podcasts. And then I have one more sound effect on here. Listen, it should be some
Oh, go
cheering.
for it.
I don't know. I can't hear it though, but
Hi,
listen.
Lisa.
Yeah, there was.
some cheering, but yeah. So
Oh, that sounded like static.
Like
Yeah.
it's supposed to sound like yeah.
That sounded
but-
like you were going through a bad area.
Like water.
Oh, yeah. So long, guys. I'm going underwater.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
The waterfall.
Look,
Darren, I
here's
might want to collaborate with you to learn
Here's
how
what
to
it looks like. If you guys can see that. I don't know
Oh,
if
look
you
at
can see
that.
that. It's
pretty
Zoom,
nifty.
Oh.
I like that.
Zoom
There's too many
PodTrack
cords.
P4. Yeah,
There's
it's
too many cords attached to that.
well, it's actually pretty easy. Look, this is the one that goes from the thing to the computer, and then this one
Right.
goes just so I don't have to run off battery, and then there's the microphone one. But that's
And that
Oh,
just
so it makes
that
sense.
adds sound effects for you. Is that what that does?
yeah.
The
There's
main
you
purpose?
can load it with like how's that sound effects and like jingles. Like if you guys were to be like,
Mhm.
like comics at Denny's or whatever. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I totally want to get one. My friend Alicia says say hi to her family because she's on vacation. She's tuning into the show. Alicia, we have to say hi to Chris and Paulette. Thank you guys all for watching.
All
Chris
right.
and
Thank you.
Paulette, shout out.
Shout out to Chris. You know where they're at? They're in Idaho. And my friend lives in
Oh.
LA. She drove to Idaho. Like
Okay.
Oh,
Whoa, it's
That's
really
a
hot
long
too right
drive.
now, especially.
Yeah.
it's in the 70s. Like I got a warning out here that we were having a heat warning and it was 73 degrees out.
Wow.
Said, sorry, Alexa off. That there was a heat warning at 73 degrees, and I'm from Arizona, and so my friends in Arizona were laughing at that. Oh, she says it's 85 there. She says it's 85.
Wow. Well, just so you guys know, tomorrow, the hottest, well, I don't know when this is coming out, but I'll tell you right now, Thursday, June 17th, predicted Death Valley, California. Without Googling it, what do you think the temperature is supposed to be?
Okay, so global warming, I would say 121.
Yeah, I was going to go like 123.
125 then, I'll go the over.
Has everybody guessed? I think you guys have all guessed, right?
Wait.
Yeah.
No one,
I'm going to give you the answer.
None of our audience is guessing. Okay, what is it?
All right, I'm going to hold it up. The answer is Jay got the right answer, 125. I don't know if you can see that, but it's going to be
flipping away.
Yeah.
Hey.
I get
it. Look at that.
Is it Death Valley? Is Death Valley on the way to Las Vegas?
It might be. It's out there. I don't know if it's on the way, but it depends. I'm sure it depends.
It's like maybe a little north.
You like is there an Arby's there? I feel like I've been to Arby's in Death Valley.
Valley?
Can I give you guys a hot?
The roast beef could be cooked on the sidewalk.
I want to give speaking of heat, I want to give a hot tip. Are you ready for a hot tip?
What's a hot tip?
Good segue, Darren. Good segue.
All right, because I like to drive back and forth. I'm out there on the road. I'm out there, and sometimes I love In-N-Out Burger. I'm like, I want to, when I don't have time to chill at a Denny's, I'm like, I'll get an In-N-Out Burger, but not all the time, but sometimes, right? And but I'm here to tell you, like, there's always, where is there always a line? In-N-Out Burger. There's always a line, right?
Yes.
24/7.
Here's what I found. If you can find wherever there's an Arby's, there's usually nobody in the parking lot, so you can park right away. And the bathrooms are usually kept very clean, and there's like nobody in there. So if you ever need a clean bathroom on the road, I just discovered this during the pandemic, because I'd be like, I got to use a restroom. And then you especially when it first was coming out with the pandemic, the first few months, you're like, I don't know, is it worth it? I don't know if I want to touch doorknobs. And so one day I don't want to be around people, so I end up going to Arby's, and I'm like, wow, the bathrooms are immaculate. Everyone's excited to see you. They're like, hi, welcome to Arby's. Like you're our first customer.
They have that bell that you can ring if you like their service.
Two things about Arby's. First of all, Carolyn, one of our really biggest fans, guessed the same as Jay. So she said 125. Jamie said 130, but Jamie lives in Mississippi. He doesn't know what heat degrees are. He knows heat and humidity. But so first thing, where's the Arby's? What's the city with the big thermometer?
Oh, Baker. Is it called Baker, California?
Yeah,
that's where I was.
So.
Yeah. Okay, so it wasn't Death Valley.
So
And then did you know ARBY's is Arby's, but do you know how they got the name?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
So, it's roast beef. So roast beef is RB. And so they just said
wow, that's interesting.
We should have said that on trivia night. We had trivia night.
Yeah.
How did you start how did the party start, or how did you get that going on? How did that all
I wanted when I first started, I didn't know if I wanted to be a comedian, or I knew I wanted to be a comedian, but I also knew I wanted to do morning radio, because I figured that was a real job. And because when they had like career day, they had career day, and it was like, that was the closest thing.
In Fresno.
Yeah. Like the closest thing to stand-up comedy was exactly. And I went around to each like booth, and I didn't see anything that remotely looked like what I wanted to do, except for radio. And of course, I looked at like the highest paid position in radio is the morning show, and I'm like, well, maybe that's what I could do. But it's so. The guy on the radio station that I worked at in Fresno, he did a lot of rhymes. He would do his thing, and so I kind of did a spoof of that guy. And on stage, I used to do a character where I'd go, "Hi, I'm Darren Carter, the party starter," and I would do like this whole long rant, like those old style like DJs. And then I dropped that bit because the bit really didn't work, but then the name stayed. And I remember at that time, Margaret Cho just got a sitcom. And I went into the punchline, and she recognized me, that she remembered. I didn't even know she knew me. And she goes, "Hey, Darren Carter, party starter." And I was like, wow, this is cool. Like people people remember my name.
Okay.
Because until then they were just I was the redhead guy or the hey, what's up, Opie, or what's up, Richie Cunningham, or what's up, Fireball, or whatever. So hey, Rooster, all the nicknames. So that someone knew my name was like, wow, this might be a thing to keep.
Did you ever work in radio?
You're super fun to perform with.
Did you ever get a job in radio then, or no?
I did back then. I worked the overnight shift. I got to be like a board operator, and then I got to, which means you're just pressing the controls and playing pre-tape, like Casey Kasem or whoever,
right.
And then I did get to talk on the air and be on the air, and it was awesome, man. Like, although looking back, I realized like I remember they let me work New Year's Eve one year, and I thought really what that was like, hey, we're all going to be out having fun. You
got
you man the station, and you spin the records or whatever. Back then it was carts.
That's why you're so good with. You got that little Zoom thing that you showed us, because you just have to stick to radio somehow.
I seriously want to get one of those. I think we need to get one of those.
I gotta tell you what was funny was back then, like I would purposely play like Michael Jackson songs just so I could do a Michael voice, like what I mean.
Yeah.
Like I'd come in, I'd be like, "Thank you very much. Our next record is with Michael Jackson. Thank you, Darren Carter. He's a party starter." And I remember the one time the program director walked in. He goes, "Darren, this is a music station. This isn't a comedy station." And he like,
oh jeez.
I was like, ugh,
take it seriously,
and then noises on there. Do you get to load them on, or are they preloaded, or you download them, or?
I wonder if I think the two sound effects came with the thing, and then what you do is you have with an SD card, you could load up your own, and I just wiped it clean because it kept saying write error, which I don't know if you guys know about computers, but it was really frustrating, and I was like, what the hell? And so I guess you have to format it, is what it's called. I had to, it's what it's called, formatting. I had to format it.
Maybe just
floppy disk
stuff. Okay.
Yeah, you could totally. Yeah, exactly. Like those two come with it, but then you could add two more. Like I added I added like a voice clip of my son going, "We're done with this interview," and I had another one on there. I have one of my catchphrases for my comedy, and it was, and I put that one on there, and that's the one that goes boring.
But you know what? Do you ever work with a guy in Sanford? He was a big radio guy at one time, but he started in comedy. Bob Rubin, do you remember him?
Oh, I know the name. I don't think I ever worked with him. I didn't know he was in comedy. I mean, I didn't know he was in radio. Wow, it's cool.
Yeah,
I remember that guy.
Yeah, he had a show for a long time. Yeah, Bob Rubin. He went to the University of Arizona. That's how I know him. So he was in he worked at a little they did shows on the campus, Comedy Corner, and Gary Shandling used to drop in there.
Wow.
This guy Bob Rubin, people like that. Tucson, man, it's like it's a hotter version of Fresno. That's all.
Wow, I know.
It's true.
It's amazing. I used to see Gary Shandling a little bit here and there at the Comedy Magic Club in Hermosa, and it was always cool. And I've been in the green room with him when he would, it was so cool and laid back. And I actually found out more about his life after he passed away. I just recently found out why he moved to Tucson. I don't know if, from what I saw, I don't know if you guys know about that. Do you know why he moved to Tucson?
No, his mom lived there, right?
Yes.
Now I'm only going off one source, and I'm believing this person. It's a vlogger that I follow. His name is Jordan the Lion, and his vlog is Days with Jordan the Lion, and he goes around and does these great vlogs. And according to his vlog, I think his brother Gary had an older brother who had a disease. I forget what it was, but it was hard for him to breathe and stuff. And so they left, I want to say Chicago, and they moved to Tucson because of the air. But sadly, his brother passed away at like 13 or 14 years old. It was really sad. And then according to this vlog, like Gary apparently, maybe this is all in documentaries. I have no idea. So I don't know. But
a lot of it's true. I'll tell you why I did that.
Okay. And then
dry air his mom lived there and owned like a pet store or something. So then
that's what they said.
LA, yeah. So he'd go back and visit her. And when he was there, he'd come in and do this college photo. We're all in college. He's like, it's Gary's family.
Wow.
Yeah. So my mom lived in Tucson, Arizona as a child, and she had moved there from Chicago as well. And Gary Shandling was her neighbor. And
Oh, wow.
he used to come over to my mom's house, and my grandmother would make them peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
That
It was a
is
nice
awesome.
Degrees of Darren Carter.
They showed the house on the vlog. It looked like a really nice neighborhood. It looked like just your typical American, Americana, like cool
Pretty simple.
suburban.
Yeah. It's just very.
How much time are you on the road now, Darren? Are you? I mean, now, well, in the pandemic, before the pandemic.
Yeah, I know and dude, this is a fun. I know this is a crazy time for those kind of questions because people they go, so what have you been working on? And I'm like, well, I'm you know, like, they're like, so what? No, the guy goes, the guy exactly. I'm working on trying not to go crazy. Cuckoo, cuckoo, cuckoo. Yeah. So what's next for Darren Carter? I'm like, I remember somebody asked me this like 3 months ago, and I'm like, I don't know, man. Everything's unpredictable. New world. I have no idea.
Yeah,
You know?
it's true.
I try to balance it.
I mean, just like you don't.
Exactly. I know. That was back when, they're like, can you mind putting the mask on for the interview? Okay. So you're like, dude, we're through a camera. We're cool, buddy. But, no,
Are you
it was
back on the road at all?
I am. I am really lucky and thank God for, yes, I am. I did the road a little bit during the pandemic. I got to go to Texas and Arizona, and I did a week up in the Bay Area. So here and there, it was amazing. It felt great. And then I'm going to be doing this tour of different cities, and it's called the Barbecue and a Hot Sauce Tour, and it's in believe it or not, it's in public parks, and I guess it's with comedy, and then music is afterwards, and they're gearing it up for like a family-friendly, clean thing. It's going to be like, Kansas City and near St. Louis and near Gainesville, and I don't know, these different parks and things, and yeah, exactly. So I'm happy that they reached out to me and they like what I do, and so
awesome.
Good deal.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that was something I was actually, it was kind of weird. Like that was sort of I'm not
Aaron
gonna say,
just signed on. Aaron Ramsey finally just signed on it.
Hey, Aaron.
Hi, Gordon Ramsay. We call her Gordon. Ramsay. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say that was kind of a dream of mine to like do comedy, not only in traditional places, but like outside of the box type places that are,
right.
You know what I mean?
And like
where
you
it's
said
like,
earlier in the show, now that stuff is starting to emerge more after everything that happened.
yeah.
And do you book a lot of your gigs on your own, or do you have a manager or booking person or anything like that?
I've done both, and it's nice to have an agent and I still do, but it's like if you're just relying on your agent, you might have to wait a long time. And even when I was at like these top agents, like they have like I was with William Morris for a while.
Wow. Okay.
And they would be like, Darren, we mainly do theaters and A rooms, but I'm thinking, well, if I wait for you guys, I'm not working that often. So unless you got
to do it on your own.
Yeah, because I would do like these gigs, these theaters that they would pay well, and they were like, well, we mainly deal with like, and I'll tell you, at that time, they would give me great gigs, but it was like, I mean, you as a, you want to be working. You don't want to just be waiting for that phone to ring.
Yeah. You gotta be hustler.
You gotta be, you gotta be sharp.
You need to hustle. Well, Darren, you are a hustler.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever like.
I don't know if I've even said the name of my podcast. It's called Pocket Party, the Pocket Party Podcast, and
I love yourself because I've seen you on a few things. So tell people about this.
Okay, so it's great. I've done about 178 episodes, and
cool.
I upload them. They're everywhere, like iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and also I've been putting them on YouTube as well, and also on YouTube, youtube.com/Darren Carter. I do vlogs, so meaning I do podcasts on there. I put stand up. I do vlog. I'll just vlog like interesting things or things. Like I was in a parking lot last week. And my wife was she went inside the grocery store. She went inside just to get some last minute things before they closed. And so I'm in the car with my son and we're hanging out, and the car next to us, it looked like it was going to be, it was a white truck, and the guy was putting all this gear on, and it kind of looked like he was going to be like a pesticide type guy, like, and he had all the, and I'm looking at him, and then the next thing I know, on his arm, he had a giant hawk, like this hawk that was there.
Oh my God.
Oh, whoa.
So I hop out of the car and I go, hey, hi, how are you? I go, that looks really interesting. And he goes, oh yeah. And he's telling me a little bit about it. Turns out he's hired by the city up near Fresno. I was up near Fresno, and this hawk will chase out it'll chase the black crows out of the parking lot because the black crows, like these crows would come into the city thinking that it was safe and they could like, but what happens is they just make a big mess all over the cars and the empty parking lot. It just turns the whole asphalt white. So they don't want that mess there. So they get this. Yeah. And so so you know what it is? So by vlogging, I was able to like, I've just been filming interesting things like that. And I put like a 3.5 minute video up on my YouTube and people can see it. And it's stuff like that, like I'm so happy because.
Can you do a vlog to tell us the difference between a crow and a hawk?
I know. Yeah, I know. Well, the hawk was actually, I found out it was called a Harris's hawk. And what the Harris's hawk, you know what? They're big in Tucson. You probably see them before. He said that what they do is if you're lucky enough when you're driving through Tucson, they'll, one will stand on top of the cactus. And then the other ones, they're known for like stacking, like standing up on top of each other because there's only so much room and they don't want to burn their feet. But I'm telling you, this was like it was interesting. So yeah, I've been vlogging more. Like my next one that I would love to do is I know this guy that's the owner of the Fox Theater up there, and he and his family, as we're talking, I'm just going to show you that hawk thing, and you'll see what I did. So I'm in one square, and the guy's in the other.
He's waving.
Oh wow! Oh my God,
that's
a
beautiful.
huge ass bird.
See what I mean? But yeah, it's interesting how and see how I did that. I just kind of put myself in the thing, and but yeah. So I like my even a day that you might think is sort of boring, where you're like, oh, I got to go do this errands. I found that and I'm getting in the habit of this, if I vlog it, you'll get all the footage and then you'll create like, how will I make a story out of this? Like the other day, my son, he's 13 and his bicycle pedal broke. So I duct tape it and it worked for about a day and then it broke again. So then he duct taped it and he wrapped it up with so much duct tape. It looked like someone was trying to, what do you call it? Like carry a brick of cocaine or something I don't know, smuggle a brick or whatever. So
there you go. Yeah.
So I thought, well, I got to take this into the shop. Let me just film like what happens. And I go, hey son, you want to go with me? And the next thing you know, we're having fun and we're documenting it and you turn into like a story. And I don't know, it's cool. It's like, and that was only like that was going to be the whole thing. And then it turns out that's just going to be a small part of it. Like we went and got like ice cream but there's a place up in, we went to Hanford, California, and there's an ice cream shop. That's the famous, the whole town is where Steve Perry, his birthplace from Journey.
Journey, okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I remember there was even a documentary where Steve Perry, where he went into this place. It's called Superior Dairy, and it's this ice cream parlor. If you ask for a single scoop, the scoop is like this giant, like it's as big as your head. I mean, it's so yeah, we filmed that and we did that, and it's kind of nice. It's like something fun to do, and then in a roundabout way, I kind of feel like it could help your comedy because you're going to come up with bits, and then it gives people something to look at because otherwise they can.
I think you have to do now is you have to diversify because the stage is only one little aspect. So creating your brand and like being all over the place. Have you ever had like with your vlogs, anyone say, get away from me, don't film this, or like? I usually ask, and I probably, like I saw something no, I haven't had that happen yet, but usually I'll ask, but I have, cause there was something that I forget what it was, but afterwards I was like, dang it, I should have like filmed that, but I didn't. And my wife was like, just start filming. Don't, because it was something, I forget what it was. Somebody was giving us some interesting information and, I don't know. You just do it on your phone or you have a, I don't, it's, I got the, I did it on my other phone too, but I just got the Galaxy S21 Ultra. And the reason I say that is it comes with, a thing called director's view. So director's view means you can film yourself and what you're filming at the same time.
Like so it's doing it. Okay. That's cool.
Cool. Where's the most, you said you like out of the box places that perform. Where's like the weirdest places you performed then?
Oh man. During the pandemic, it'll be easier to narrow that down. Well, Zoom was the hardest one and the weirdest one. The very first one I did, it was cringeworthy. I felt terrible about it. It was like, the first one, because I did it at the kitchen table. I made sure my wife and son, I was like, hey, can I have, like, can you go grocery shopping or something? I don't want any witnesses. Like, this is like weird. I don't know how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
And I did. The guy, he's a fan of mine, and he was for a good cause, and it was like a fundraiser. And so I thought, and he goes, it's just 10 minutes if you don't mind. I go, I'll do it. But I did it, and it was really uncomfortable, and it was awful. To be honest with you. I got better at it as the more, just like anything, you get better at it. And
so no performing in laundromats or Denny's or.
Well, I say that I guess I did some parking lots, and those were even with cars, but those weren't even that weird. The weirdest one to me was that the one that made me feel the worst was that first Zoom one, because it was just, I remember shutting my laptop going, oh my gosh, that was, I took a shower. It was awful. But the parking lots are great, because even when there was people in their cars, I would make jokes. I'd be like, hey, we have a very diverse audience. We've got Tesla, Nissan, Ford. We've got very diverse, that kind of stuff. So you kind of get better at
Could you hear them laughing? Because sometimes being on stage, like the laughter is what creates the show. Could you hear any of that?
You know what? A lot of the people, the ones that I would do, well, the first parking lot I did was great because it was in Ventura, and it was in a church parking lot, and they had hired like a camera crew, and so they put your image like on this giant screen, and there was literally about 20 people that were in front of the stage, like at about 20 feet away. And then the rest of the people were in their cars, but they had their windows down, and it was in the summer. So some of them were actually sitting on the hood of their car, or they were outside. Not everybody was in their car. So that one was great, because you're like, wow, I can actually see people. The other ones were a little bit weirder, where they're in their car.
Yeah. That's the difference. I mean, to go back, because the three of us, we did a Flappers show, back in March, I think. And it was just totally, the thing that was weird for me, same thing, it felt totally off, felt totally weird, because you couldn't really react or interact with an audience. That was the big adjustment I had to make. Yeah.
Did you do the bowling alley for Flappers? Did you do that bowling alley parking lot?
No, didn't do. I saw that advertised. I didn't do that though.
I did an actual bowling alley though before the pandemic.
Oh,
that was cool.
That's true too. I did the bowling.
You had to look out for those bowling balls, right? You had to look out for the balls. Strike.
They would put the audience on the screen.
Yeah.
And they were actually like, their volume was up, so you could kind of hear.
Yeah.
What was that bowling alley? Weird. Was it in California?
Yeah, the one I did was in Eagle Rock.
Eagle Rock. We did that show together.
We did.
Oh wow! Yeah. Were people into it? Was it like something that you think it'll happen again? Like it'll be a real show?
I don't know. It's like
the ongoing show.
It was pretty cool. I mean, they have a bowling. Those places have lounges. I mean, you can drink booze and stuff. It was really small, but the weird thing.
And when he says lounge,
you hear all the bowling balls in the background. I mean, it's noisy.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Like I
smell and everything.
Yeah, I feel like there could be places that are like, outside the box. Like I played some bowling alleys back in the day, and I even played Dave and Buster's, like the one in Hollywood, and it was like its own side room. It was great. Cool. It was great. Yeah. It was actually, and I thought, you know what? Because I mean, clubs are great, but sometimes you can't get in those clubs because their calendar is just full of like all the guys that were doing theaters. Now they're like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like there's only so many room for so many comedians, and so I thought, man, what if you did like a tour of like different like bowling alleys, like lounges, and I mean, why not?
There's all you need mats.
Yeah, exactly.
I love how you call it a lounge, because it was like Bud Light, Bud Light.
Yeah.
We call it
hey baby, how you doing?
We'll call
like
it
that lounge.
We got balls tour. Let's do it.
Yeah,
we got balls tour.
Yeah,
all right.
We'll go
2021.
It shouldn't be that hard to. I mean, what do they got going on there? I mean, seriously,
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays I think like
specials.
I think like I'll just say Eventbrite, but like with the Eventbrite, if you put the blast out there and you maybe boost it on Facebook or whatever, and you're like, the We've Got Balls tour. We'll be at the blah 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 bowling alley, and tickets are $20, 30 VIP. It's like you know what I mean. or whatever. I'm just throwing numbers out and stuff, but it's like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
it's doable.
Comedy's back. The clubs are open and
people want to laugh, man. I'm getting motivated. Like, I actually want to be even a better comedian than I am already, because it's like, don't you feel like that too? Like, you want to like that. I think that's
you just want to get out there now. Yeah.
I just want get the rust.
Also, people want to get out again and they want to laugh. Like, that's what's
after last year. Yeah.
I always said
what happened last year. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. I was sleeping.
I'm trying to ignore it.
Yeah, I know, right?
It should be like the Roaring '20s again. They'll, they have bootleg liquor and the whole bit.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, yeah, it's funny. Like, just that's what we have to keep ourselves busy, because, you know, if I wasn't vlogging or doing a podcast and I had like a day or two off, like, especially once I got in the second day, I'm like, what am I doing? Because, you know, I didn't have, you know what I mean? Especially back like a year ago, I'd be like, I got nothing really coming up, because it's like, what's going to come up? Nothing really, right? And then I remember I got this call to do I think I hadn't done a real show, I think, really for like 4 months, 5 months. And then I flew out to Denver, Colorado, and did a corporate gig, and it was like it was like I felt like it was a COVID vacation. It was like, oh, this is great. It was like one day of like normalcy with people laughing, and you know,
it was great.
It was great, man.
It's so great to be back. I was so they lifted the mask rule here on Tuesday, and I was at the grocery store, and I'm like, woohoo! I didn't wear my mask, and everyone in the store had masks. Employees, customers. I'm like, what's going on here? And some lady stopped me. She's like, did they let you in here without a mask? And I go, yes, California just opened up today, so we're allowed to be in here. She goes, oh, I went home to get mine, but I'm still really trying to be safe. And I'm like, and you stopped me? Why? I'm just like, I need some turkey. Like, you know,
I know. It's like, I feel like some people, there's a lot of pent up frustration, and I don't want to incite anybody. So I just smile at everybody and do my thing. I don't want to like argue with anyone. Exactly. I'm just like, you know, like,
you don't want to be a Darren.
Right. Darren.
Darren.
Yeah, you're right. Because I did recently ask somebody, like, they weren't wearing a mask, but I didn't even know they were in the room. And I literally was trying to see the sign to see, like, do we have to wear a mask if we use this room? And I could tell the person in there didn't know what my stance was, but I literally wanted to know, like, do we still have to wear the damn thing? Because I don't want to.
Right.
I just want to know, is there a sign? And I'm like, oh, is that sign here? Oh, there. And I saw the sign, but I think the sign has been up there for like a year, so maybe they didn't take it down yet. So so I could tell the person was like, you know what I mean? I didn't want them to think that I was running in there like, is there a sign because you're not wearing a mask? And I see that sign says you have to. So I didn't want
you didn't want to offend anyone. People are sensitive now.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, that sign. Okay, that's a good. And then I was like, because my wife wanted to know, but I, like I was just like, this is,
you don't want to get the B12 variant either. The Indian.
Right. I'll tell you one thing. Like, this is the Italian. This is one thing I've noticed. I've not touched an elevator button with my fingers at least since March 20th of 2020. Right? Like, like I started using just my keys, maybe my elbow. I'm like, I don't know. I don't even know when the last time I touched the elevator button.
You know what's so weird too is like my whole life since 5th grade, I used to get sick all the time. I used to get laryngitis probably like 3 times a year, lose my voice, always had a sore throat. Like, if you know me since I've been 10 years old, sore throat. Oh, Lauren, you have a sore throat again? But nothing since COVID.
That did help. I think I only got one cold last year.
I haven't been sick the whole time. Like, no sore throats. Have not lost my voice. The last time I was sick was September of 2019. Yep.
That tells you something. The masks really do. I mean, just keep wearing it.
Also, like,
I think the flu season. Why not?
Yeah.
I know. I definitely
in Japan.
I definitely wash my hands a lot more. I'm like, I should wash my hands and drink water, all that good. That's one thing I like. Vitamins. I'm working out. I did a thing. Oh, I don't have it with me right here, but I've been doing like 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups like every day.
Oh my God, I saw that.
Thank you. Thanks for seeing it. It's one of those. Did you start doing push-ups? Because my goal is to like get in people's mind to, because I know I'll do this every now and then. I'll put it out there. Like I know it's annoying, like 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups every day. And I write like, think about how great we'll feel July 4th weekend, or just whatever.
I saw that. Yeah. I have something a little bit wrong with my shoulder, but I am doing 500 miles on my Peloton this month. So I'm
nice. There you go.
I'm at 273.
She's at 9.
Today. Yeah, I'm at 273 right now.
Oh.
Nice.
I always to make 500, I have to do 16.6 a day, and I always do a little bit over because like when you get behind on
for like insurance.
I do that too. I do the morning routine. I got some dumbbells, but I do the sit-ups, push-ups. I got a torn labrum right now, but I still do it and I push through it. And I get on a recumbent bike and I do my morning pages. You know the morning pages, Darren. The artist way. Oh yeah,
the morning pages. Yeah, I like it.
That's an old artist thing, you guys.
Yeah, we really are old.
It isn't an old artist. It's the artist way. The artist. He's not an old artist. He's the artist way. I forget her name, but that's the way you're supposed to wake up and write.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
Freestyle.
You write.
Right on.
Yes. Expunge your thoughts.
It's funny. I would do the 50 pushes, 50 sit-ups, and then of course I'll still work out for the rest of the day, but or whatever later on during the day. But I like to do it as to myself. Like I put the little legal pad. Like I'll put like I'll write it down. So I have to. I see it, and if I miss a day, I'll put an X, and I'm like, I don't ever want to see like. I don't want to see like 3 X's in a row. So, and because I've been posting every day, like annoyingly, like every day I'll do it after I'm like, it makes me honest. It makes me keep it. Cause I know someone out there is going to be like, cause I've had this happen a lot. Well, they'll message me and be like, dude, it was annoying. I don't care. You're doing push-ups. And then they'll be like 4 months later.
Do it live because you could always like fake it and do a recording. So you're doing it live, right?
Yeah, kind of. I don't do them on camera. It's like, what I'd be like, oh, look what I'm doing. But what I mean, I could, but what I notice is people will come back usually down the road. Some people and they'll be like, man, that really motivated me because I see you're doing it every day. And I'm like, man, I should be doing something. And it's so cool to see it.
Do you do like 50 in a row or do you like stop and be like, oh, I'm tired? And then
I'll tell you straight up. I do I usually do like
get some breakfast.
Like now I probably will do, sometimes I'll do 25 in a row and then take a short break. And then, but for sit-ups, I'll do all those. I'll get those all out of the way. The push-ups I'll do, I'll sometimes do 40 and then just that way I only got 10 more to do. And then sometimes but then, sometimes like if I haven't done them in a while, like a month or so, I'll do them where I'm like on my knees. And like the first set, I'm on my knees, like a girl.
Like the girl way. Yeah.
Yeah. Just to warm up. I'm not trying to prove nothing. And then there's the next day or whatever, I'll go back to like, like marine style or whatever. But it's like, I just think it's something I start my day out like that. And it tends to make me start. It's just a good thing. Start. Otherwise,
take a little cigarette break in between.
I know exactly. Yeah. I mean, I gotta be honest. It's like I still eat ice cream. Like I did that vlog of the ice cream. I'm still, but it's when you see results and you feel better, it's like, man, I like the way that feels. And here's another thing I read. And I'm not like a fitness guru or nothing, but I read that you can eat basically a pound of cantaloupe and it's only around 150 calories. You can eat a pound of watermelon, same thing. So I've been eating lots of watermelon and cantaloupe, and it's great because you'll feel really full, and then you're not gaining really. I don't know. It's awesome. It's a great thing.
I'm drinking a gallon of water a day, and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, I do that. I do that elevator master, and man, I am parched after that thing.
I put cucumber in it though. This is my 6th one.
Look at that!
Trying to touch those buttons with my elbow,
Yeah.
You gotta stretch.
Yeah,
that's right on.
I know.
That's a good way to start your day. I try to get all my miles in on my bike before I even start my day too.
How do you like a Peloton compared to like a regular stationary bike? It must be a lot better, right?
I love it because, I always went to the gym and did spin class, and then obviously the gym's closed, and I like the interaction of it. It's a really professional bike. It reminds me of the spin bikes at the gym, but I quit the gym I never like put it on hold. I actually just quit it. And then the app comes, it is a gym on your phone. So I can do core training. I can do Pilates. I can do yoga. I can do like any workout, and I will never go back because now I just get up and go to the spin class.
That's awesome.
Fight the crowd. I don't have to do any of that. My dog's throwing bones around.
Hey, I just thought of a joke. You could be like, yeah, I used to join a boxing gym and then I quit, but now I just box on Twitter. I just fight people on my phone. You want to go sparring, bro? I'm sparring. We're sparring.
How many people like you box? Like people like, I don't know. I don't try to offend people, but sometimes people don't get my humor and they'll get mad at me, and I'm like, it was a joke. It was a joke.
Right.
Like
sensitive people. Yes.
I want to. I have to actually go somewhere in about a half hour.
No, this show's really gone over. Do you have a show?
Yes.
Do you have a show?
I don't have a show, but I promised them I would show up. I'd go to Flappers and come by and say hi and stuff. So
and also that's awesome because you live in that area, I think. But I'm looking at your background, and it looks like it never got dark at your house.
No, you know what? This is a Zoom background. This is from the Fresno, right? The farm up the Fresno. And it's confusing because sometimes I actually do shows from there, but I love this background so much that when I'm in LA, I like to use
I like the wood paneling.
Doesn't it look good? It's like so cool. It's like because I was using like this fancy copyright-free kitchen image, and then my real background is just a white wall and it's very boring. And I tried like I'll show you. Like in the beginning of the pandemic, I would like put this back there and
there we go. Okay.
You know, my son drew this and it's cool and everything, but I'm like, I don't know. Let's.
But also, like most backgrounds go like blurry if you move, and like you're not going blurry, so that looks real.
Spinelli and I are looking at our white background.
I know.
I don't disappear.
Well, no, you're right.
Because those like other ones that go like they blur out, like yours looks.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you're Darren. It's not doing that at all. It's good technology. Then you have a.
Yeah, you know, I think we all have that technology, but
disappear.
Oh, I hate that. You know what it is? You live
in a house with wood panels.
Right. Yeah.
I think you did some good craftsmanship there, Darren.
I know, it's wild. It's gosh, it's like that window that you see behind me. There's always birds in there and stuff. Like in the morning, I can see the birds, and I'll open up that window and like you'll hear them chirping and stuff, and it's cool. I you know, because we've been splitting our time between LA and like the farm up near Fresno, and it's totally different worlds, man. Like for me anyways, because up there's like animals and stuff, and I'll see like coyotes and then around the farm that one of the cats just gave birth to kittens, and she's like a stray cat, but we still feed them and stuff, feed her. And it's interesting, like we can't get close enough to the cats, but we see the little kittens, and it's interesting how happy seeing 5 kittens will make you, like, wow, kittens. You know, like in LA, I don't even think about kittens or anything. I just think about getting spots.
Puppy right now who's getting into trouble. So what's going on at Flappers? Is there a real show tonight, or is this like a little get together?
No, they've been doing real shows. In fact, Jay Leno's been going down there, and but their show is about to. I think it's going to end in a little bit, and I told them I'd come by before they like totally wrapped up. But
cool.
That's awesome.
We'll let you go.
So what did we learn, Lauren?
Yeah.
Oh, what I've learned is instead of spending all day at the salon trying to get a Brazilian blowout, I should just shave my head.
Yeah.
Well, what I've learned is that Father Time is not a really good dad.
What I've learned is Steve Perry likes huge ass ice cream cones.
Nice. What I've learned is this is really fun, and I had a little anxiety when you were like, "Send me 10 questions." I'm like, "I don't have 10 questions. Let's just talk." And I learned how fun this was, and I thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
I learned the power of saying yes. Chris,
and also,
Chris,
it would have ended up just the same.
It
would have been the same show. It was lovely.
We'll have you back. We'll bring you to Denny's.
Awesome.
So,
a real
thank you.
We'll buy you dinner.
Buy you dinner and do all that. So
it'll be a real date.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys.
Have fun at Flappers and
Yeah.
I
Thanks
will.
so
And
much, buddy.
thank you so much for being on the Pocket Party podcast. And
Awesome.
you know, when I upload this, check it out. It'll be on YouTube, and I want
Awesome.
everyone to check you guys out. So,
real quick, do you want to
so much.
promote any of your handles? Do you want to promote anything? Where
Oh,
people
on Instagram, I'm official Darren Carter, and on YouTube, it's Darren Carter. YouTube.com/Darren Carter. I have my own channel, and that's about it. I got 4 albums out there. So if you like comedy, and I got different albums, and I'm out there.
Cool.
Thank you.
Cool.
We're done with this interview.
Everybody listen to Darren Carter. We all know he's the party starter. So if you want to listen to a podcast for free, then listen to the Pocket Party.